Okay, so this is a little bonus piece that I have. I'm not selling them. It is a baby Yoda cutout. Uh, my grandsons are big Star Wars fans, so I did this so that they could see Glammy paint baby Yoda, um, and then they could follow along with me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sketch out what I think it should look like before I paint it all in. So, and this here is his, like, the collar of his little outfit. And then this, his little feet, I guess they're kind of pointy. I'm really kind of, I've not seen the baby Yoda, the new one with the baby Yoda in it. So this is all, these are his little hands I'm going to have coming out here. I'm going to have like, that's part of his sleeve. This will be part of his sleeve here too. Okay, may bring down his collar just a little bit. And I'm just drawing on here, and I can erase it where I don't want it. It's easy to draw on the wood and erase it. Maybe fix his hand just a little bit. Okay, and then he's going to have big old eyes, because that's what baby Yoda has, big eyes. They're not too close together though. Those are definitely not even. And like I said, this is my first time doing it, so I'm having to play around with the design here. And I'm going to erase some of this. His eyes are going to be black, so I don't need to really erase the inside. Let's see. Let's give some movement. Okay. And then he'll have a little nose and a mouth. May bring this line down here just a little bit. Okay. So this one here, like I said, this here is just for fun. It's not a blank that's for sale. Okay. So let's start. Okay. I've got some brown. I'm gonna paint what would be his little uniform all brown first. Sounds like the working crew in the other room is doing his honey to-do list. So I am going to paint everywhere. I'm not going to paint his collar because I know his collar is a little lighter color. But I am going to like paint outside his hands and his feet. Everything outside his hands and feet are going to be painted because his hands and feet will be green. So right now I'm just kind of tracing them and knowing that I'm going to color everything else brown. Okay, so let's do the same thing over here. Let's trace his little feet and hands where we know those will be green. And then everything around it will be brown. Okay. Okay, and now I can just fill in the middle part. So this is going to be like the little, see how quickly that came together? This is his little robe that he has on. We'll come in and give it some highlights in a little bit. Let's just get him to come together and see how he looks. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm not going to paint this the light color yet because I want to, let's go with our green next. So I got a green here. It's kind of like a Yoda green. Let me clean my brush. I'm just using a little brush. I'll try to use the same brush. It's just a round brush. So let's paint Baby Yoda. I'm not going to paint the little circles that I have there. I'm going to paint around the circles. We'll come back in and we'll paint the circles maybe a yellow or something. Go along the edge of his neck. Go around his eyeballs that we drew. And I know I paint kind of fast. You don't have to try to follow along with me. This is just to give you an idea how you could paint something. You could maybe draw this on a piece of paper and paint it. You could maybe draw it on a canvas, and then you could have the picture and you could hang it up in your wall. This is just how I would draw Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is a licensed item from Disney, so that's why I can't sell him. I don't have a license to sell Disney products. Okay. So let's go, while we got the green, let's go ahead and paint in his feet and his hands. Got a lot of paint on my brush here. Just trying to take some of it off because this up here is littler. So I just need to be real careful with his hands up here. Okay. Okay, so there's Baby Yoda so far. He's looking pretty cute. Pretty cute here. Let's put some black in his eyes and get that done. It always seems to help when you put eyes on things. Makes it start to come alive. So let's just color this in here. I don't know if you can hear, but my neighbors just started mowing their yard. At least it's the start of his eyes. We're going to cover everything and then we'll give it some detail and it'll all start coming together. Baby Yoda has big eyes. Okay, let me clean my brush off. And let's put some yellow on here because I want to paint this part of his ears yellow. another lighter color of brown on his scarf and on his hands. We're going to let everything up top dry a little bit. So if I take a lighter brown and put it around his collar, use some of this to highlight his sleeves here too, so it makes it look like he has sleeves on his. Along the edges, do a little bit along the edges, not filling it all in, just making it look some dimension there. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit more of the dark black and just, or the dark brown, and just kind of put it through the lighter part, just kind of making it look like a shadow almost. Not everywhere, just here and there. Maybe there's a shadow right there. Let's crispen up that line just a little bit. Maybe I will take a little, I'm putting a little bit on my brush, but taking a little bit off, and maybe just give this a little bit of lighter color in here. Come back in with a little bit of brown on the heavy spots. Straighten that line up just a little bit. Okay, that's starting to look good. I'm going to take a little bit of my green and my black, and I'm going to mix it together. I want a little darker shade of green, so I'm just going to mix a little bit of black with my green. Maybe a little more. Okay. My little puppy dog Domino is in my room with me today, and he's wanting to run in and out. So, and I can't have that happen. Okay, so I'm going to grab me a smaller brush so I can do some detail work up here in the Yoda's face and his hands and stuff. So on his feet, I'm just going to trace them just a little, like maybe give him some you know how you have in your hands, you have these little pads and stuff. Give him some little pads in his hands and feet with a darker color. Let's go over here and give him some pads on his, and maybe just outline him up here a little bit. So there's a little bit of outline and shading in his feet in the darker green. And I'm going to do like the bottom side of each of these, just on the bottom. You might not be able to see them in the camera, but there is a darker shade in the picture. You'll be able to see it. I'll show you in a picture, but just remember I'm using the darker shades on his hands for shading purposes. Okay, so I've done his hands. I'm going to take a little bit of this darker color here, and I'm going to go right along the edge of his mask, or his robe. Just going to go right in with it all the way down, like where his neck and his head meet. Just use that darker shade right there. I'm also going to take some of it and put just a little circle under his eye on both sides. Let me straighten this side out just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to do one right above his eye, using the darker color still. You might want to make a little more than I did because I'm running out. Okay. So now I also want some of this darker stuff. I'm going to have to mix me some more. Black and green together. Okay. Maybe I should mix it with the big brush. It'll do better. I was using the wrong tool, trying to mix a big old pot of soup with a little bitty spoon when I should have been using a big spoon. So, okay. His eyes really need some work, I think. So I'm going to use a little bit black, and I'm going to shape his eyes a little bit better. I think they need some more curvature or something. I'm gonna give him just a little better shape at the bottom. That looks a little better. Remember, this is my first time drawing Baby Yoda, or even painting him. Painting or drawing him. So I'm really not. I've seen what he looked like. I looked at a picture. So I know he doesn't have eyelashes or anything like that. He just has big old eyes. But I think I'm gonna put a little sliver of black above the green as well. Just a little bitty one. Just above the black. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the green. Put some green underneath the yellow. Oh my God, just up his ear a little bit. Not all the way, just a little bit. Just a little bit up his ear. Maybe I'll put a little bit on this side of the ear too. That's that darker green that I made. Just trying to put some shading on it. Okay. Let's get our black up. Let's give him a little bit of mouth here. I know it's not really smiling, but it's kind of like that. And I know he doesn't really have a nose, but he's got a couple of little, so I'll just put little slots like that. I hope you guys are liking it. Hope you boys are liking it, Jackson and Dylan. Glammy's trying. Let's give him some, let's put some white on him now. Let's give him some eyeballs. Some little white dots in his eye. And I'm going to use the bottom of my brush for this. So let's put one right here. Let's put it on the other same side. And I'm going to do one more little white dot. Look at him. He's starting to look like an alien now. Okay, let's put a highlight right there. And I think I'm going to do one down here. Let me fix this one a little bit better. I want it to, there you go. That looks pretty good. I think this eye here needs to come up just a tad bit on the black. I think I need to round it just a little more. Okay. What do you guys think so far? I think he looks pretty stinking cute if you ask Glammy. Okay, I'm gonna take some of this black and I'm gonna highlight some areas. I am gonna go around his hands and feet with the black, I think. Just like I'm gonna outline them. Let me see if I like that. It's okay. Maybe I'll just do his feet. I'm not crazy about it. Okay, so there's his feet. Let's put a little bit of shading back in here. Do some shading over here. Okay, I'm liking it. And I'm still just kind of playing around with the black paint, trying to make some shadows on it. Okay. Now his ears really need something. I'm looking at it. I still have the top of his head to play around with. So let me do a couple of little highlights of white in his feet. And these are real subtle pieces of white in the green. I don't even know if you can really see it. Okay. Let me go down here. I think each of these could use it. I think this finger kind of looks like it's lost. It needs to come up just a little bit. Let me just adjust this hand just a little bit in size. The finger looked like it wasn't all the way finished because of his scarf around his neck, so I needed to fix that. And I'm gonna put a line here between his sleeve, so there's more of a definition of his sleeves and the scarf around his neck. Maybe some shading here. Come back in here. I don't really care for that one too much. But okay, so now let's fix the yellow in his ears a little bit. Let me clean my brush. I'll just get another little brush. I'm going to take some of the yellow paint and take a little bit of the brown and mix with my yellow. I want it to be a little darker, not a whole bunch, just a little. So I'm going to mix it just a little. Just putting in some shadow. A lot of the light, I am using just a little bit of the color we mixed, just to give it a depth in his ear, a little bit of depth in the color. Those were all low lights that we did. Now you can really see the difference between the yellows right there. That looks really good. But now I need to do some highlights on him. So I'm going to take some of the green I have up here, and I'm going to mix it with my white. And it's going to give me a little lighter color green instead of darker green this time. It's going to be lighter, and I'll be able to use it for the highlights. I may have to add a little bit more on my board here, just a little. Okay, so I don't want too thick of lines of the highlights. So I'm just going to put it randomly, like I know for sure I want a highlight above that little darker line there. I want to highlight right here above this line. And maybe I'll highlight here. I'm going to highlight there. Okay, so I think I highlighted his eyes. I think his eyes look pretty good. Let's just highlight just around his ears then, on the bottoms. Just above the dark line that I did. Okay, so now we know this is the inside of his ears, and we know his ears are gonna, they kind of like have that, I don't know what you want to call it, the crease in his ears. So what I'm going to basically do is just highlight, I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm going to highlight here across like the tip of his ears, but then I'm going to come in with some of that darker here and just in the corners bring it down, just to kind of okay. Stay with me. I know you may be saying, oh Glammy, that doesn't look right. It will, boys. It'll look right, I promise. Okay. So now I'm going to give him some of those little humps that I know he has up on his head. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to smudge those around. I don't really want them to be light, thick. I just want them to be little hints of a highlighted color up there. So let me show you that again. And I'm just putting it on, and I'm going to rub it in with my finger. I'm not rubbing it off, I'm rubbing it in. See? It's kind of giving me highlights up in his face. And then I may do one highlighted color right under his chin too. Now I'm going to finish his nose with the same little effect. I'm going to do like a round apart but just a little round part over his nose. Well guys, that's my little baby Yoda.